Welcome back to episode 3. You are joined with myself, Hannah Baycroft and Frankie Foster, and we're going to take you through Saturday's card. Now, we've got lots to get through. We have a mixed card, Wincanton, Doncaster, Aintree, and then we are going to be looking at 3 races from the Breeders' Cup. Now, let's just have a bit of a recap from last week. So I'm pretty pleased because I have redeemed myself. Last week on Saturday, managed to bag myself 3 winners. It would have been 4. Unfortunately for the disappointing fall in the Charlie Hall Chase, but Frankie and the Winners Enclosure both had 2 wins last week. So overall, myself and the Winners Enclosure are drawing with 3 winners from the past 2 weeks, and Frankie has 4. So hopefully on this Saturday coming, we can have some more winners. Now, Frankie, you were actually at Wetherby, weren't you, on Saturday? So
Yep.
Looking at watching on, it was just so upsetting when Chad was out. I just don't even know what to say because I couldn't believe it. How so far ahead, and then he fell. I mean, what was the atmosphere like being there?
The entire card, it was like a great day's racing. It was absolutely packed out. Wetherby, some massive meet for all the locals. The racing, not to say it disappointed because it was exciting racing and there were some great horses to be seen, but when the horses that everybody wants to win don't quite do what they're supposed to, it leaves a strange atmosphere where there was a lot of races with not a lot of people cheering the winner home because nobody had backed the winner. There was a 40-1 in the first. Surname blew up. Shamblu then fell. In the handicaps, you had Master Tommy Tucker again was leading out in front and then blew up. And there was there was not a whole lot of noise when the winner passed the winning post at Wetherby. It was exciting racing, but I think the Charlie Hall Chase was real unfortunate because although Surname blew up, which was a shame to see, everybody's kind of it's pulled up the last 2 times. You've been waiting to see, can this brilliant horse get back to its old form? It would have still been really good to see Shamblu go and romp home and kick on like it did. And it was a tough one, I think, for everyone to watch. Fusel Rams obviously took the win, but it would have been 20 lengths for Shamblu. So it was a good day's racing, but it was one of those ones which doesn't quite deliver what it could have done.
Devastating. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
They had a winner in the last. They would have obviously had a winner there. I spoke to Dan at the start of the day, and he was pretty confident with Shamblu. He said it was fit, it was ready to go. So I think he was where you could see they were very frustrated and gutted, and thank God the horse was all right. But I think they had a winner as well, maybe in the first or the second. So I think they were definitely there for a good day. They meant business that day, and I think the Scoutons as a yard are in good form, and they're firing at the moment. So it was an unfortunate one for Shamblu, but the horse looks good. It looked a very good horse, so I'll be backing it next time out.
Yeah, and it was nice actually to have a bit of an update from from Dan Scoutton to say that his career's on a bit of a pause, but hopefully back in the spring, which I think was nice because it was a nasty fall to see and so gobsmacking that it was just nice to have that update online. I have to just brag about this. I have to say, at the time, I think it was 14-1 with Amula Gold. I think it went off at 12-1. Yeah, another one for the scouting team, which was great. I was pretty pleased with that. Sorry?
Yeah, that romp term, it's always nice to get a handicap winner.
Yeah.
When you start picking winners in big handicaps, you feel like you can pick a winner in anything. That's how I feel. You pick a winner out of a big field in a handicap, you think you're a professional. But
well, I was pretty chuffed, I have to say. And then, of course, Frodon winning the Ladbrokes Champion Chase as well. So, it was a great day's racing last Saturday. But looking forward to this Saturday, we've got plenty to look forward to. So I think let's just kick off then with Wincanton. So in the 1350, we have the Rising Stars Novice Chase. I think this is probably an obvious one for all of us. Winners Enclosure going with Braves Man's Game, so am I. The Paul Nicholls horse, the 6-year-old, it's an absolutely fantastic horse. Last season, the talk was he's the new Denman. He's already had an excellent start to the season, making his chasing debut at Newton Abbot on the 10th of October. This time, he steps up in grade. He's such an exciting novice chaser. I mean, Team Ditch are already on a high, aren't they? Especially from last week with Frodon and Bryony. He's got a huge jump and he travels really, really well. And not forgetting, he's only 6, so the older he gets, the better he's going to get too. Hopefully, anyway, mature. And I think it's an obvious one for me, really. So that's my pick for this one. That's Brave Man's Game.
Yeah, same as. I mean, like you said, it's a really exciting horse. Even when it was in the Ballymore last year and not disgraced behind 2 real good horses. Nichols said then it was going to be a chaser. It's a huge horse. It's come out and done well in its first chase appearance. And yeah, I'm just gutted. I've been backing this for the March and he's come out and said it's going in the RSA. So that's my big anti-post prices from last year on this down the drain. I was backing it around 33s and 40s for the March, but yeah, I think this will, well, you'd hope it wins well. 47 and yeah, it's an exciting horse. It's one to follow. There's so much good chases this year and it's one to follow for the season and see where it ends up, and fingers crossed it's as good as they think it is.
So, well, staying with the Paul Nicholls themed, because that's going to be my pick for the next race, which is 3 o'clock. Sorry?
I said he could be having a great day off of us.
Oh, 60th Badgermere handicap chase. The Winners Enclosure are going for Hurricane Harvey, which I do believe is the current favourite. Just remember that, of course, we're doing this a few days before, so obviously the market could change. So I am going with Paul Nicholls trained Highland Hunter. I think it's currently at 5-1, but Nicholls has actually won this race 3 times from the past 4 years, so it could be another one. But for this horse, do you know what? I find this quite a tricky one actually. But for Highland Hunter, the last time we saw him was at Doncaster and he came 5th over 4 miles. So he's stepping down, previously placed at this distance. He jumps really nicely. I think it'll be a bit of a stretch with the weight he's carrying. And he did have a wind operation in, I think it was just before 2020. He did have a fall last season at Chepstow, but he came back and won at Carlisle. Now, the reason why I was stuck was because I was torn between Highland Hunter and Some Chaos. I think it's Some Chaos, that's what I wrote down. And he won at Chepstow on the 8th of October at my birthday at 2 miles and 7. And he previously won at this distance last season. So I was really torn between these 2 horses. But as you mentioned, you know, Paul Nicholls is just, I mean, he's on the roll and he always is. So, you know, for me, Highland Hunter is a great horse. And yeah, that's my pick for this one.
For me, I'm going with Kim Bailey's El Presente. It's ran well in better races. I think it came a close 4th in what was a class 3 and only gone up a pound for that, which I think given the weightings, given this race, I think it's got every chance off of that. You know, it's run well in a grade 3, it's up a pound. This is what, a grade 2 or a listed race. Don't think it's particularly strong, and Kim Bailey always gets the chases going well. So I think El Presente for me in this 3 o'clock.
I think that was the winner of this race last year, actually, as I was looking at that one. I think it was last year's winner.
It was, yeah, off of 11.8, and it's only going off of 11.10, so £2 up, and I'd say you think it's got better over the last season. As I said, went well in that class 3, and very close 4th, so, you know, although form reads 4th, I think it ran very well in that. It's hanging around the same weight, so 8-1's not bad value.
So moving on to the 3:35, the Unibet Elite Hurdle. Now, the Winners Enclosure. Sorry?
I said, what a race. I've been waiting to see what you and Winners Enclosure are going to pick in this.
Well, we're going for the same one. Sue Royale. The Winners Enclosure is Sue Royale, and so am I. But have to have a little mention. So Takani's actually, well, when I looked earlier, it was down to race. I don't actually know if it's declared. But I went to visit Fergal O'Brien's last Friday, and the first horse that my mum fell in love with was Takani. So she's noted that one down just because he looks absolutely beautiful. So he looks like Pegasus. So I just noted that down because he's gorgeous. But yes, Sue Royale, that's who I'm going with, the Alan King horse. It was last year's winner of this race, proved to be on form when winning at Kempton on his reappearance on the 17th of October. And he went off at 7-2. He was the favourite, and he beat Silver Streak. But he's actually won this race before, so last year as well, but then also in 2016. So it could be another one for him. He does go well fresh, as we've seen. So hopefully he'll have a good run. And is that who you've gone for, Frankie?
It's not.
It's not. Oh.
Taking a leap of faith for Ocean to somehow refund. Obviously it's a crazy horse. It was 20 lengths clear in the Triumph when it fell. It come out and had some very strange performances, being extremely keen. Even when it went back at Cheltenham into the Champion Hurdle, it was quite well fancied for that, and that would have been an incredible story after falling in the Triumph if it came back the next year and won the Champ Hurdle. What might give you a little bit of faith is that one performance when you thought the old Goshen is back was at Wincanton. And that might give you a little bit of hope that it could come here and do the same. I think it's a machine of a horse. I think the fact that they're still trying it counts for something. So, on its best day, and if it is firing, as I said, it won well here. 7-4 could be value. It could be a nightmare again. So I'm taking a chance. I love the horse. I backed it in the Triumph when I was heartbroken when it fell at the last. I backed it again for the Champ Hurdle. I backed it when it was here. Finally got some kind of, not revenge, but I got a bit back from the bookies. So yeah, I'm taking a chance on Goshen.
Okay, well, we're moving on now to Doncaster. So we're going to start off with the 13.25, the Virgin Bet handicap. Now, the Winners Enclosure have gone for Tomfrey, and I am going for Fresh. So this is 40-year-old gelding and Kieran Schumacher. Last time at this distance, he came 3 from 6 at Ascot on the 2nd of October, beaten by Aldari on testing grounds. Now, on that footage that I was rewatching, Aldari was by the barrels and they were battling it out with Symbolize, but then Tomfrey and Fresh were in the centre up against each other, so they'll be obviously reunited again on Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think it'll be very close call, but Fresh's most recent run at Doncaster at 6 furlongs, I don't think he would have beaten the winner, but I think maybe if he had a bit more, he could have made up some more ground and come second, because he did come third. So I am going with Fresh for this one.
Fresh. I am going with the bigger price in this. William Haggs's Busala, 10-1. An interesting one, fairly unexposed. First handicap race. Went very well. I mean, it went off at 1-6 when it won a Class 3. So it took a lot of support there, went well on the all-weather, and then completely flopped in a strong race at Ascot. I'd give this another chance off a opening mark of 97. I think that's fair. And given its previous market support, it won well in a couple of races before. Yeah, like I said, not going well at Ascot, but I'd definitely give this a chance in his first handicap at 10-1. Tom Marcon on board, who rides Winners for fun. So Usala at 10-1.
Okay, so the 2:05, the Virgin Bet Wentworth Stakes. The Winners Enclosure are going for Ainsdale. Now, I think I'm going for a bit of a wild card here, and it's connected to my pick in the previous race. So my last pick was Fresh in that race, and it was beaten by Magical Spirit, who I'm going for in this race. It's currently at 14-1. And Kevin Stott. Now, this trip is 6 furlongs. Now, when you look at its previous form before it won at Doncaster, because it won at 25-1, nothing stands out to me with its form. I don't think I'd have picked it, but I just thought it ran brilliantly at Doncaster, and I think it might. I mean, I probably would do this as an each way bet, but I think it will definitely place. I do like this horse. But yeah, if it wasn't for the last race, I probably wouldn't have thought much of it, but I just think it was a pretty good run on that one. So yeah, it's my wild card, which is Magical Spirit.
What price?
I've got down 14-1. It might have changed. Have you got it up there?
Where I'm looking is 12-1, but yeah. My selection's 8-1 Bielsa. One, because I'm a Leeds fan. So always backing this horse. And the same as you, actually, ties in form with my pick in the last. So maybe one of us will be very right and one of us will be very wrong. If either of us get the winner in the 125, we might have the winner of the 285. This ran actually ahead of Busala in that race that I said it flopped at Ascot, which I think was quite a strong race. Handicapper might have it under control. It's pretty highly rated. I think, what is it, 106, running off of 9.3. But yeah, the horse has been going well. As I said, I'm a Leeds fan. I like the horse, so I'm siding with Bielsa at 8-1.
Okay, so the last one that we're doing from Doncaster is the 240, the Virgin Bet November handicap. Now, the Winners Enclosure going for Sam Cook. My pick is Calling the Wind, trained by Richard Hughes. Now, this horse is out of authorised. On the 9th of October, it got a third at Newmarket, 3 from 32, which I thought was quite impressive in the Sarwich. Carries 9 stone 9, and it's got pretty good form, I would say. In the last 3 runs, it won, then it got a second and the third. I think it's going to need a push at this distance. It's 8-1 at the moment, but its best run was at Goodwood at 2 mile 4. So I think it might be all right. So I'm going to go with this one, Calling the Wind. Frankie, if you've got it up there, what price is it currently at now?
8-1.
8-1. Yeah, Calling the Wind is my pick for that one.
1. I do like Jamie Spencer as a jockey. My selection is Global Storm. To be honest, main reason being, I think the claim is quite interesting. William Buick's been riding it and it's been going well enough in some class 2s. It seemed to be going better when they had it going over a shortened distance. It hasn't quite finished that strongly over. They've been running it over around 1 mile 6. This is 1 mile 4, 1 mile 3, sorry. I think, yes, back down in trip. Claimer on board, taking a little bit of weight off, which could be quite handy in what's quite a tight handicap. So yeah, that's my pick, is Global Storm at 10-1 for the Appleby team.
Cool, so I'm going to pass it over to you now, Frankie. We're going to head over to Aintree.
So we have got, I think it's some tricky racing, this Saturday. I would not be that confident in too many of my selections, especially one of these. Actually, I've got 2 in Saturday's card, which I shouldn't really do, but I've selected 2 purely off of their name. But that's usually the way. You take someone racing, you spend hours studying the card and they go, oh, that's a nice colour, or I like that name, and it wins. So. That's all I've got. We are going straight to the 1308 class 2 Potemps Network handicap hurdle over 3 miles, and the 3 miles being the key in my selection for Diaz Abba for the Philip Hobbs team, and purely because it's done the distance, it's done the yards, mostly chasing, but they didn't run. I think it ran 3 times over hurdles, so it didn't have a long hurdling career, but it definitely wasn't looking like a bad hurdler. I think they just wanted to get this horse chasing quickly because it's a big horse, but given it's done the distance, it wasn't a bad hurdler. It can go over hurdles. It's not necessarily a huge slow horse. I think coming back around over 3 miles over smaller obstacles, I think it could go quite well, and it's priced at pretty healthy, 8-1 now. So yeah, this ABBA is my selection, and the Winners Enclosure have gone with Act of God. And what about yourself?
So my pick, I'm really excited about this horse, so it's Aquila Sky. Now, it made its chasing debut on the 15th of October at Uttoxeter. Now, in the closing stages, it really struggled over those fences. It started off carefully, it jumped okay, but it was very safe. And then as it went on, there was quite a few mistakes. But prior to this, it had 2 hurdle wins, and it was so much better. And this was back in the spring. So when he jumps, he does have scope, but like I said, it made a few mistakes. So I think going back to hurdles, it's going to be a lot better. I mean, if you look at the clip at Doncaster, because its last 2 wins over hurdles was Doncaster and Ayr, but the one at Doncaster, coming in, he's got his ears pricked, he looks happier and goes over them a lot better. There is a change of jockey though. Harry Skelton takes the ride, but I don't think that's a problem at all. Harry Skelton's brilliant, and I'm really excited to see how he gets back over hurdles. So that's my pick for the 1308 at Aintree.
Next up, we are off to the 215, and you've got every right not to listen to me on this one. Winners Enclosure have gone with Senior Citizen, priced at 6-1 for Alan King. I am picking this horse because Frankie de Belay, when I was at Market Raising, I talked about this horse all day. Obviously, called Frankie myself, but it looked like it had a good chance in a handicap there. Didn't back it, and then it went on and won, and I was fuming. So I'm just having my selection down so that doesn't happen again. So Winners Enclosure have gone with Senior Citizen, and my selection is Frankie de Belay for Peter Bowen, with Sean Bowen on board. So I mean, it's not a bad thing, and yeah, fingers crossed as well.
Yeah, I mean, go with your name, absolutely. Well, my pick, I'm going back to Paul Nicholls, and I'm going with Cat Tiger. So it's his seasonal debut, but actually David Maxwell, the jockey, said, well, I read that he said that 2 mile 5 is the perfect distance for him. Now, he did this at Aintree over the fences there, made a couple of mistakes, but you know, when I read that, I was like, that's good enough for me if that's his perfect distance. It goes well fresh. The form last season was a first, third, and a second. It's not too bad. He's already won at this distance before. Last time out second, 3 miles on the 25th of May. Beaten by, I think that says Tarrant River. See, I haven't written that very clearly, but he was the favourite and he was beaten. But yeah, like I said, he did make a couple of mistakes last time out, but I quite like the look of him, actually, especially when I watched the replay. So, yeah, the last win he had last season was under Harry Cobden, again, another really fantastic jockey. So, yeah, that's my pick. I'm going with Cat Tiger, the Paul Nicholls horse for the 14-15.
That wraps us up just for the 2 at Aintree, and we're going overseas. We're going international to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. We're going to look at 3 here, starting with the Breeders' Cup Sprint at 7:40. We've obviously got a very interesting horse in Golden Power, which came over to York and was disappointing. I actually was at York, and a family friend of mine who's ex-champion jockey, Brad Graham, who knows Frankie, caught him down just as they were heading down. He turned back to him and said, "This won't be beat." So Frankie was very confident that day. You can't get better kind of info from that, as he is heading down to turn back and say, "This will not be beat." But I'm not going to back it. I just think maybe they've overestimated what this horse can do. It hasn't actually done the business in Group 1s. It was disappointing at York, and yeah, it's ran well in America, but it hasn't ran in the strongest of races. So although that is, let me just double check, that's the Winners Enclosure selection. Yes, Winners Enclosure have gone.
My phone's died.
They have gone with Golden Power. I'm going to go with Kevin Ryan, Andrea Azzini, Emirati Anna. I think it is value at 5-1. They're a lethal combination. It's won a couple of hot races. It's a Group 1 winner. And I think, last time out won a Group 1 over 6 furlongs. I don't think they're going over to America to mess about. So my selection is Emirati Anna.
So my pick for this one is Gear Jockey.
Yeah.
What's the favourite in this one?
Favourite is Golden Power. Gear Jockey is a big price at 8-1.
So this horse actually was quite exciting when I watched a couple of the replays yesterday. So so last year's winner was Glass Slippers, back to try and regain the title. Now, Gear Jockey, trained by George Lee Arnold, very progressive 4-year-old. He had a change of yards in February 2020 and has developed really well. Now, since moving, he's won 4 of his 9 starts and placing in all of them. So to me, that stuck out well. It looks great. A really impressive clip, I think, from Saratoga back on the 17th of June. Travelled from 2 from the back, finishing 3rd. And I thought he travelled really, really well. I think if he had a little bit longer, I think he probably would have won. Great turn of foot and a nice looking horse. So I think this one could be a good one. And I'm going to go for Gear Jockey, this one.
We're yet to agree on many, are we, between the 3 of us?
No, I thought that because last week we had quite a lot we were all agreeing on, but this week it's all a bit different. But there we go. We'll see what happens.
Well, I say that the next one we've all agreed on. We have all gone with the favourite Warlike Goddess in the 8:59, the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf Grade 1. And yeah, we have all agreed on Warlike Goddess. Highly progressive horse, been absolutely demolishing fields, and I think a 10-3. I think it should be shorter than 10-3 based on what it's done. So I think if there was a favourite that you were going to pick out, this would be the one.
Now I'm on the right, the right race. So yes, Warlike Goddess. I think I can't even remember if I went into it earlier, but I'll go into it again for you. I think the form is a lot stronger than the others, definitely. Won 4 of its 5 starts. Most recent win at Saratoga on the 4th of September. So yeah, we're all agreeing on that one, I do believe, and I think that could be winners. So we might all agree on something.
Fingers crossed. I don't think one that we've all agreed on has actually won yet, but this could be the one.
No, we did. Last week, Molly Ollie's Wishes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we had one. This could be a win in the bag for us, this one.
Awesome. Right, to wrap it up, the 11:40 at Dalmar, the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Turf race for 3-year-olds and over. I've gone for Tarnawa. Colin Keane on board. I love Colin Keane as a jockey. I think he's awesome. Gives him a great ride. This horse has gone well in England, in Ireland, in France, in America before. Goes back to America. It clearly travels well around the world. And it's just done the business in Group 1s. It comes second to St. Mark's Basilica, which is incredibly strong form. That horse is, I think they said it maybe was one of the best they've ever had. And it was a close second to that. So based off of all of that, I think, again, this is a solid favourite at 13-8. And I'm pretty sure the Winners Enclosure are in agreement as well.
So I'm going to disagree. I just think because Tana was drawn quite high, and it looks to be that has the disadvantage. But the one I'm going for has a low draw, and it's coming out of stall 3, which is Domestic Spending, Chad Brown. Chad Brown's horses, they always kind of stand out to me. I think that he's always got something interesting going on. So this horse is out of Kingman. He was the beaten favourite, came out 2-5 last time out. Now he's beaten twice out of his 8 starts, so I think it's quite a promising horse. But yeah, he's always one to look out for is Chad Brown. So I think that could be a good one. So yeah, to wrap that up, I'm going with Domestic Spending, and that covers all of the cards on Saturday that we're covering.
That's the card. Some great racing. We have got Brave Man's Game, which we all agree on, but it's a 4-9 favourite, and that's just one to watch and enjoy. Over in America, we had Warlike Goddess with some brilliant form, which fingers crossed can get the job done. An interesting race at Wincanton with Goshen and Skill Royale, and some very tricky handicap races at Doncaster. Maybe Anna's selections are the ones to go with after she picked out a couple of good handicap winners last week. So that wraps up another great week, and fingers crossed, I'm sure it will be some brilliant racing on Saturday.
Indeed. Well, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see how it goes this weekend. But don't forget to join us next week for episode 4, and we will see you all then.